we are going to find a number that has a square root between two given numbers. The example that we have here is we're looking for a number that has a square root between 1.2 and 1.3. It's really important to note that the number itself is not between 1.2 and 1.3, its square root is. So we're dealing with square roots here. 1.2 and 1.3 are the square roots of some mystery numbers. We can find out what those are the square roots of very easily if we think about what square root means. Square root is a number that we multiply by itself to get our given number. So if I know the square root is 1.2, all I have to do is multiply it by itself, and I'll know what it's the square root of. So I'm going to do 1.2 times 1.2. I know 12 times 12 is 144, and I know I have two decimal places, so that's going to be 1.44. And likewise, I know that 1.3 is the square root of whatever 1.3 times 1.3 is. Remember that we get our number by multiplying a square root by itself. So if I want to know what the number is, I just have to multiply the square root by itself. I know 13 times 13 is 169, and I know that I'm going to need two decimal places because I have one decimal place in each factor. So I now know that my number is going to lie in between 1.44 and 1.69. So I have lots and lots of options then for what that number could be. So for example, I could say that in between 1.44 and 1.69 is 1.5. Or in between 1.44 and 1.69 is 1.67. There's lots and lots of options that lie in between those two. So if I know where the square root lies, all I have to do is multiply those endpoints by themselves. Then I'll know what those numbers were the square root of, and then I can choose any number in between those will have square roots that are in between 1.2 and 1.3. So if I square any number between 1.44 and 1.69, I will get something that has a square root between 1.2 and 1.3. And you can always check your answer then by finding the square root on your calculator and just to check to see if you have gotten something that actually does have a square root in between your given roots.